Okay, so I did a tarot reading trying to focus on the killer in the murders that occurred in Idaho, where the four college students died. And, these are just cards. Um, Maybe they mean something and maybe they don't. But when I look at the cards, this is what it tells me. Um, so in the signifier card, Ace of Wands. So that's kind of where he is, where he's just been. There was an incredible amount of raw energy that he was feeling. Um, these murders were definitely planned. He spent a lot of time planning them and felt very restless prior to them occurring. And after they were completed, he felt a sense of triumph. Um, Six of Swords, the crossing card. So this is a weird card. Um, he is thinking about confessing, is what that card tells me. And he's not going anywhere. He's not traveling anywhere. If he's a student, which I think he may be based on the other cards, he didn't even go home for Thanksgiving. Probably didn't want to make any big moves, stayed where he was. Um, Crowning card, Page of Cups. So what he'd like, he wishes he could go back to the time when he was, a young teen and things were better. Although he was always kind of stuck on himself, narcissistic. Okay, the hermit. So what drove this whole thing? He is a loner and withdrawn. Um, he may have been very jealous about the social interactions that the group um, had with each other. So he was driven by that sense of being alone, of being isolated. King of Cups, past influences. So, this is interesting because what it tells me, if this is a person, that he had actually a loving father figure or stepfather or grandfather in his life. But based on the other cards in the reading, I'm going to guess that his father, this person, might have passed away recently within the last 6 months or a year. Um, and that, along with him kind of being a loner, definitely being a loner, um, influenced influenced his actions. Okay, Five of Cups. There's a lot of fives in this reading, and this is interesting. Five of Cups. You would think that a murderer would not have emotion, but what this card is telling me is he is going to be feeling it very soon, if he is not already. A deep sense of sorrow and remorse for what he's done. It's going to be eating away at him. He's not going to be able to sleep. Okay. So where he is right now, it's an interesting card. The Hierophant. So, in some decks, this is depicted as the Pope, but it's an authority figure. Here it's reversed. So what it would say to me is he's afraid. He's afraid of authority, the law coming to get him. Um, Based on in this deck, in this reading, the kind of wounded healer, if it were upright, it may indicate, and in some cases reversed, it can indicate that there's a wound that is not healed. So, he might have a wound on him, which is maybe why he didn't leave in the Six of Swords, is what it's saying. He might have a wound on him that's not healing. It might be infected. Maybe it needs stitches. Um, Again, I'm just reading these cards in the context of the question that I ask it about what's going on with him now. Okay, Six of Cups, how others see him reversed, is they've been seeing him in a place of learning, but here, here it's also indicating to me that there's been loss, um, loss that has prompted his actions. It might have been a, a girlfriend, a breakup that pushed him over the edge. Maybe a death in the family and then a breakup just pushed him over. But how others see him is that he's in a place of learning, which would tell me that he's a student. He's young. He's a young man enrolled or studying in some course of study. Okay, so these two cards, if I got anything other than these two cards, I would be kind of surprised, or cards similar to them in this reading. If I got like a really happy, blissful card, like the sun here, because what it's telling me is that what's upcoming. Both of these cards say that there's destruction and disgrace. He's going to be caught. Things are going to fall apart for him. I wouldn't be surprised if he committed suicide or if he was killed by law enforcement. He's really afraid of getting caught and the shame that's going to come with that. But it is absolutely going to come down. There's going to be destruction, defeat. Here, Five of Swords also is, a card of defeat and ruin. Like I said, there's a lot of fives in here, and sixes reversed. So what's interesting here is, it may have something to do in this context with avenging of his father's death, or lashing out after the grief of his death. If that is related, if the past influences, it is something that he lost a father in the past. So that's what this reading is telling me. Take it as you will. Take it with a grain of salt. Think that it's bull. Doesn't really matter. I just read the cards. That's what they say. Today is November 30th of 2022. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if it's a young man, if he'll be caught. It might take a couple months. Might take a few more months to catch him. See if he actually had a wound on him. See if he's a college student. If he stayed put. See what the cards say. If it's telling us the truth. All right.